Mayor Goff. Councillors, thanks very much for the opportunity to tell you the story of New Zealand Opera for the last 12 months. My name is John Harvey, I'm the Chair of New Zealand Opera, and Stuart Maunder, our General Director, will perform the bulk of the presentation, but just a few comments I'd like to make firstly. New Zealand Opera has come a long way in the last 2 to 3 years. I'm pleased to report that we are in good heart. Essentially, we have been delivering on a strategy that we adopted a couple of years ago, and the key platform of which was to achieve a sustainable operating model, as summarised on the slide. First part, strengthening the revenue base. An opera company is not just about dollars, but they sure as hell help. We have recorded a small operating profit in our 2016 year, and pleasingly this is the 3rd year in a row. And we now have positive shareholders' funds, giving us new confidence to be able to plan ahead, and I'm sure new confidence for our funders to know that we are going to be here tomorrow. Building organisational capability and capacity has been a key goal. We've had significant change at board level and at management level within the organisation, and this really has increased our bench strength, and we've done that without increasing the team size. Sustainable opera in the community, we are branching out into many different aspects of community life in Auckland, and I'll leave Stuart to expand on that, but it's been very pleasing what we have achieved in that area. Collaboration, we cannot, as with all arts organisations in New Zealand, we cannot do it alone. So collaboration both with other organisations in New Zealand and also in Australia and further afield is absolutely the name of the game in which we operate. So a key driver of all this has been the funding we received from the Auckland Council through the Auckland Regional Amenities Funding Board. We are truly grateful and appreciative of that support. The main driver of these achievements has been our General Director, Stuart Maunder, so I'll hand over to Stuart.
Thank you, John. Good morning, all. Okay, so look, this is the 4th year that fourth year with the company, and now more than ever, I think New Zealand Opera is proud to support the Council's vision to make this the world's most livable city, and we believe that that means that that you have an international opera company at your doorstep. And I'll give you an idea this morning of where we were in 2016, and also, if I may, just a little bit about 2017 as well. Now, Auckland is at the heart of everything that New Zealand Opera does. We live, we work, we rehearse, we manufacture our sets and costumes here, and consequently of our $7.4 million spend, 64% of that is spent in Auckland and its environs. As John said, we're in the happy position of being in surplus for the 3rd year in a row, a modest surplus, I must add, but in surplus. And we are finally in positive equity, so that's a great thing. And I've put a slide there of Tosca jumping to her death, which is delightfully inappropriate, I have to say. So in a way, we are performing our way to sustainability. We're an opera company who need to get out there and perform in front of people, and that's exactly what we do, and that's the way we can continue to live and work. There are the stats basically for our Auckland attendances in 2016. I won't go through them all, but the joy, I think, is that we've increased our output in Auckland to 17 main stage performances, not counting 7 performances with our co-producers. And our outreach and education program have grown from 2,000 engagements in 2013 to over 9,000 in 2016. This year is going to see over 3,000 kids in the Auckland region see our new school show, and over 1,000 will attend a dress rehearsal, and almost all of these people will be experiencing opera for the first time. New Zealand Opera is fast becoming, I believe, a vital thread in this city's cultural fabric, and having a national opera company living here, I think, is part of what makes Auckland a memorable place to live and to visit. And for our company, it's a great chance to perform in those grand environments of the ASB Theatre over here in Aotea Square, as we did for Magic Flute last year, and we will for Carmen in June this year and Katia Cabanova in September. The Glorious Civic last year was the home for Sweeney Todd, and we've just enjoyed a very successful season of Mikado at the new ASB Waterfront Theatre run by our amenities colleagues ATC. I'm pleased to announce that we did 135% of our budget there, and it's been fantastic for us to find a new environment and a new audience for us as well. And I think the joy is that for audiences it's been a chance to see some of these great masterpieces and a lot of new works in a way that they were meant to be seen and heard. You've got many, many great venues in this city. We're, of course, indebted to Auckland Council, and especially through the Arafa Board, to help make this happen. It's part of our strat plan to create more opportunities for more people to experience the power of this extraordinary art form. Now, engagement of Auckland artists is a very important part of our work. New Zealand Opera harnesses as many Auckland people as we can in local performers, designers, in our technicians, and particularly the company's chorus of local singers, many of whom are recent graduates of your tertiary institutions. And for every production, we employ this city's great orchestra, the people who live downstairs, the Auckland Philharmonia Orchestra, this time for three separate collaborations. We have a policy of presenting as many New Zealand singers as we possibly can, wherever possible. Many of these now, of course, have thriving international careers, and it's our job, we believe, to bring them back. We take seriously the New Zealand in our title. This year, for example, we're bringing 2 expats back from Mikado, 2 in Katikovanova, and 4 in Carmen. This is, of course, on top of the 9 local singers. We are showcasing in principal roles and over 150 choristers in our choruses. In these interesting times, collaboration seems to be the name of the game, and New Zealand Opera is passionate about bringing opera to as wide an audience as possible, and collaborations with our Auckland-based partners provides us with a very compelling and thrilling way to continue to deliver very challenging and varied repertoire to our audiences. So in 2017, for example, we're collaborating with the Auckland Arts Festival to bring Bone Feeder, a new New Zealand work, and as well as the APO season of Manon Lescaut in concert. We're also collaborating with the APO for their Magic of Musicals concert, for which we're going to provide the chorus and staging, etc. And in addition, we're collaborating with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra this year for one Auckland performance of Berlioz's monumental The Damnation of Faust. And we continue to engage with communities through our education outreach activities, targeting everybody from school children to seniors. Now, earlier this year, we performed 3 concerts to an estimated audience of 2,500 at Dingledale and St Heliers and 300 at Massey Homestead out at Mangere as part of the Auckland Council's Music in Parks series. We also played to 250 here at the Aotea Square as part of Auckland Live's Summer in the Square initiative, and 200 at Sculpture in the Bay concert on Waiheke Island. And in 2016, over 3,200 kids from 11 schools in the Auckland region experienced our specially devised production of The Elixir of Love by Donizetti. And for most of them, as I said earlier, this is their first taste of opera, and if nothing else, they'll learn that opera is not a dirty word, and maybe at some stage in the future they may very well come to one of our performances to try us in the theatre. Specifically, apart from our program, the Auckland Regional Amenities Fund also helps us fund the rent and utilities for our offices and our rehearsal spaces. Now, our technical centre during the last year, and this is not unusual, in that place 6 separate operas were rehearsed. Sets and costumes for the Magic Flute, Sweeney Todd, the school's company Elixir of Love, Nixon in China and Brass Poppies were built or refurbished. The facility has also built sets for other companies and even schools. 36 separate education and outreach activities took place there from technical colleges, primary, secondary schools, community groups, thus enabling us to engage with these communities and usually previously unaware of our company. It has an emphasis on participation and usually culminates in attendance at the opera. We've also provided a rehearsal venue for many other arts community groups, and we've also allowed Opera Factory to have some office space when they lost their premises. Now, we've had to move out of our offices in Mayoral Drive in January, and coincidentally, the lease for our technical facility was up for renewal in March. So we have taken the opportunity now to move the company to a new site behind Le Segal Markets in Parnell. Now, this welcome move has allowed all areas of the company to be housed under one roof. And considering that all of our guest artists are accommodated downtown, it will dispense with the daily commute to Onehunga, which is something we can all well do without. Now, we'll be holding our first open day at our new premises on April 29, and we'd love to see as many of you as you can come along, please. So look, for us, there's no doubt that the grant monies that are allocated by the Auckland Regional Amenities Fund to New Zealand Opera are more than doubled in the worth of services, the visitors to the city, the eateries, the hotels, and all of the local employment. The national company's presence in this city, we believe, means that the city can experience high-quality operatic fare and experience it with increasing regularity. So in June, we look forward to welcoming you all to our new production of Bizet's great opera Carmen and Janacek's haunting Kacha Kabanova in September. And we know that the company's presence here in the nation's most populous city serves to enhance the city as a vibrant and livable city, a sophisticated city. We thank you, Auckland Council, for your continued support. And in 2017, we're proud to offer more opera to more New Zealanders than ever before. And we thank you for allowing us to make true that slogan. So thank you. We'll see you at the opera.
Thank you, Stuart. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I attended the opera in Dingledale. It's an absolute sellout. It's a little Sleepy Hollow in St Heliers, which is packed with people to listen to the opera. You did really, really well. My question's a financial one. You say you've got an operating surplus of $149,000, and yet I see that you're applying for an extra $50,000 next year. Why don't you just use your operating surplus? Why do you need the extra money?
Well, maybe John should answer that, being a financial gentleman.
Well, I guess we have strived. I've been on the board for 12, 13 years. It's only in this last 2 years that we've managed to get to a positive shareholders' funds position. And going sort of hand to mouth is not an enjoyable position to be in. So I think, there will be times when we will draw on that. There'll be times when we'll make a surplus. That's the nature of opera. But I think it just does give us a bit of security. And yes, we could draw on it, but I think, as I say, the nature of opera is that it will go up and down over time. It will never get to a big figure, I'm sure. And as I say, we've strived for a long time just to get it to where it is.
I think, if I may add to that, opera is a very expensive art form, and it's an art form that we believe enriches the soul. It doesn't save lives, but it might save people's sanity often, and consequently, most of the surplus that we achieved last year was through savings. When I came here, the point was to try and perform our way to sustainability. We are providing more employment for more singers and more technicians than ever before in the company's history, and we believe that all of our funds should be going to provide as much work as is humanly possible. We were lucky enough last year to make quite substantial savings in our technical and accommodation areas, and I have no desire in November of each year to find $150,000 that we've saved. I would prefer to spend that $150,000 on creating work for people and creating things for people to come and see. We're getting much better at our budgeting each year. So hopefully this year we'll have a very low surplus. Can you believe I'm saying that?
Just one supplementary. Will the move to St George's Bay Road save you any money?
Absolutely. It will save us money because we had two homes, and also the home at Onehunga, while very useful in many ways, there was a lot of wasted space there, and I wasn't being glib when I talked about the daily commute. To have two buses which took out our singers each morning to Onehunga and brought them back each night was quite a drain, not necessarily just in petrol, but also in people's time. But also we've saved substantially in consolidating the two areas into one, and it's a great space too.
Councillor Casey.
Revolutionary isn't really a word that people associate with opera companies, but I think your recent Mikado was just that. Putting a Scottish actor in the role of
actually, a Kiwi actor with a glorious Scottish accent.
Fooled you.
Not me, yes. But my question is about that. Modernising Gilbert and Sullivan has prompted quite a debate, and I just wondered what the kids thought of it. It's basically Efeso's question to the last presenter. You are trying to make opera accessible. Did you make the Mikado accessible to the kids down in South Auckland?
Absolutely. I should have brought all of those stats with us. We do a survey monkey at the end of each of our dress rehearsals when we invite many kids from every area in Auckland, and to a man they adored it. It's maybe the way to do it is to send that through to council. I don't know, but I don't have them with me at the moment. But you get with every opera, you always find words like it was like a poem on stage, and all these incredibly poetic poetic views, or I thought it was going to be boring but I adored it, that sort of stuff. There hasn't been one dissenting voice, really, in as far as the Mikado is concerned. Look, unashamedly, we did Mikado because we wanted to attract a new audience. I'm sick to death of people saying that their parents took them to Gilbert and Sullivan when they were children, and that started their lifelong love of the art form. And we don't do it anymore. It's how I started, and we thought, well, let's give it a go in Auckland, and lo and behold, it worked, thank heavens.